What's good, family? We're going to get into the portfolio update. We had some bad news in the market last week, and for some reason, the stock market looked like it ignored that bad news. So we're going to get into it, man. I'm going to pull up the portfolio update. I'm going to show you some chart work. I'm going to show you some news. We go look at everything to get a clear picture of the total market, and then I'm going to go over a great prospect at the end. So if you stick to the end, I'm going to give you a good stock that's on a discount that I'm watching out for, right? So let's get into the portfolio update first and foremost. Let's see how we looking. So we got about 3,600 in assets. 3,600 in assets. We got Bitcoin, Ethereum, Nvidia. Nvidia, we have, I think I got about 11 shares of Nvidia. Soon as it's low, we gonna see what it's talking about. So with Nvidia, we got a total, it's 58% of our portfolio. What are shares? 12 shares. So we got 12 shares of Nvidia, 58% of our portfolio with a total return of $430, 2,100 in assets. I like it, man. Y'all know Nvidia is my favorite stock, so that's the horse. That's gonna pull the portfolio up. It's gonna drag it. I'm talking about no matter what is going on in the portfolio, Nvidia is gonna drag it up. All right, so man, what's up with the loading today? Let's take a look at United Healthcare. I know United Healthcare has been running. United Healthcare is a perfect example of getting your stocks on sale. I think United Healthcare is still down year to date. Look at that. United Healthcare been running for like the past 2 weeks and it's still down $155 year to date, down 30%. With this type of momentum that this stock has, I mean, like, it's still a good time to buy. And I bought it down at like, it's what, 350? I bought it down at like 250, but I currently have an average of like 255. So I bought it less than 250 because the current average is 255. The stock is up about $100. I only have 1.5 shares. I wish I had more. This week I did have to put my focus into Nvidia. We're gonna get into a little bit of that as to why. But this is the second largest position in my portfolio. $533 total. It's 14% of the portfolio, right? Um, so I mean, this portfolio lit, man. We got stocks, we got crypto, we got the Roth IRA, super lit portfolio. Um, I know these past couple weeks I haven't really been able to show y'all Alibaba and Robinhood because it's down at the bottom, and for some reason it doesn't like to scroll like that. But Robinhood and Alibaba is up. I can pull it up here. Hood. Since y'all wasn't able to see it last week, I'm gonna just pull it up for y'all real quick, and then we can get into some news. Why I bought Nvidia? Because remember last week I was just holding on to the money, but I finally pulled the trigger. So we got about a share of Robinhood. It's only 2% of the portfolio. We up $4. Now let's go to my Chinese stock, Alibaba. Alibaba been taking off too, man. I got some strong players in this portfolio, man. I'm talking about everything I add in here is solid. Alibaba is up. We got half a share of Alibaba. I'm slipping. I need more Alibaba. Half a share of Alibaba. We up $8.50. All right. I feel like I showed y'all enough for the performance for the individual plays. We're gonna get into the performance. We're gonna see how I did versus the S&P, and then we gonna get into the market and the stocks that I like. So this past week we up 6.3%. This past week for the S&P, I don't know what's up with this loading thing, man. So I didn't even say Nvidia. So for this last week for the S&P, last week for the S&P 500, S&P 500 is up 1.7%. We beat the S&P 500 last week. Let's go to the last month. Last month, the S&P 500 is up 2%. Last month, we are up 6%, 6.3%. We beating the S&P. All right. For 3 months, the past 3 months, we are up 15.6%. I ain't gonna lie, it would be a whole lot better if I had a lot more money to work with. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? This is your average boy with not so average knowledge. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just doing the best I can with the money that I got. You know what I'm saying? As a 9 to 5 type dude. Um, S&P is only up 9.86%. We crushing the market. So last week, remember, I didn't buy anything. I kept $100. This week I got paid. I took another $100. So I added $200 into Nvidia, and I added $200 into Nvidia, and that's how I got up to 12 shares, right? So the reason why I did that, remember, I was thinking that the market was going to go down. There was bad news. The Fed reported a horrible jobs report. But I'm going to show y'all the chart and why I feel like the market, just because not only after that, the market looked like it was going up, but if we look at the chart is going to show us that is looking like it wants to ignore the bad news, right? So if y'all watch any of my videos, my previous videos, anything like that, you know the MACD histogram, the one I'm making larger and smaller down here. As you can see, we on a daily time frame, and it's just about the cross going. It's just about the cross up, meaning the blue line is about to cross up above the orange line, and the bars beneath look like it's going to change from red to green, right? Not going to go into too much detail on that. I showed y'all the MACD in plenty of my portfolio updates. So if you don't know, just look up the MACD indicator either on Google, Chat GPT, or just watch my previous updates, right? But the MACD looks like it is going up. But if you also want to look at patterns, and remember, this is price. This has nothing to do with what the company is worth or anything like that. Price can tell you when to buy, and the financials tells you if you should buy. So this is a bull flag, and when the stock breaks the high of the consolidation of the bull flag, it's going up for a minute. It consolidates. Once it breaks the high, that's confirmation of a bull flag. Not always going to look perfect. It's not always going to be pretty. But if you look all the way to the right, because you read charts from left to right. So if you look on NVIDIA all the way to the right, we have what looks to be a bull flag. Now, we haven't broken out of that peak yet, but looking at the MACD, looking at the bull flag, and just looking at how the stock market acted last week, it looks like we are ignoring that bad news. So I jumped in. I jumped into play. Let's take a look at the news for real, and let's see what Bloomberg is talking about. Remember, the news can always have an effect on the markets, right? So if we go to Bloomberg, Fed debates turn pace of cut amid heavy Trump pressure. The Federal Reserve is to resume cutting interest rates for the first time in 9 months. Okay. That look like good news a little bit to me. Look like good news a little bit to me. Uh, India finds out how hard it is to build. Yeah, who cares? The AI doomers are losing the argument. Okay. So AI doomers are losing the argument, meaning AI is propelling in a great direction. And it looks like interest rates will be cut based on news. The news is giving me a good vibe. News is giving me a good vibe. Let's look at the fear and greed index. The CNN fear and greed index. Now, as y'all can see, I'm painting a picture of which way I think the market is going to go, right? So if we look at last week, we have less fear. You know, we're still neutral, but we're at a 54. But last week it was 53 and 52, which means we are becoming less fearful, moving in the direction of greed pretty soon. And you know, when the market gets greedy, people tend to move like a herd of animals and jump in line and chase the market and all that. So the news is looking like the news is, you know, looking like it's pointing us in a direction. Looking at Nvidia as far as the pattern and indicator, it looks like it's saying at least Nvidia. Now I didn't look at the total stock market. Let's look at the total stock market. So we look at the total stock market. Remember, I'm always showing y'all this on the daily time frame. So we look at the total stock market. The total stock market is, I mean, it's continuing up. It's continuing up, and the MACD is already turning up on the stock market. And I don't know if y'all remember when I started this, we was way back here in probably April. It was probably way back here in April when the market hit this bottom. Is kind of where I started this, and ever since I've been doing this portfolio update, the market has been going up. We've been loving the run up, man. We done built this thing up to $4,000 almost in like 4 or 5 months. You know what I'm saying? Maybe six. We'll say six at the most. But I gave y'all the portfolio update, man. Now I'm gonna give y'all a excellent stock on sale. This is another stock that I've been watching kind of closely. Kind of like a United Healthcare in a way, just trying to see like, you know what I'm saying? Just trying to see when is a perfect time to buy this stock. And I'm gonna pull it up for y'all now, and let's see. And as y'all know, I like to get stocks when they are down. I ain't chasing nothing at the high like Palantir. I was looking at my phone today. I got a screenshot of Palantir when Palantir was at. I was so disgusted. I'm like, man, I bought Palantir at $24. I bought Palantir $24 back in the day. That was a screenshot I took. I can't even see when it was, but I took a screenshot of Palantir when it was $24. That's back when I had the stock. But I can't chase it. I gotta let it go. So Adobe year to date is down a whopping $99. Adobe is down. Okay. So now that we see that it's down, let's see what they talking about. Most analysts are saying to buy Adobe. Okay. Most of them saying to buy it. They're consistently beating earnings. I like that too. They're consistently beating earnings and they have a 4 out of 5 star rating. Let's see what their PE ratio is. PE ratio is price to earnings ratio. That's where you get this. That's where you look to see if the stock is over or undervalued. Price to earning ratio 21.76. That's not bad at all. That's not bad at all. So Adobe, let's look at Adobe on a daily time frame. We're gonna pick a striking, we're gonna pick a time to and buy Adobe. I really like Adobe a lot because their gross profit margins are pretty high. To be real, Adobe's gross profit margins are up there. And we gonna look at that too before we go. But we about done with the portfolio update. I'm just looking at a striking point. So if we go to Adobe on the daily time frame, it does look like the MACD is about to cross down. So according to the chart, as far as price, it looked like we got more room to go down, which is okay. I'm not in a rush. If I like the stock, I'll get it at the right time, right? So what is Adobe's consistent gross profit margin? All right, so I just asked ChatGPT for something for y'all real quick. Um, ChatGPT acting brain dead. God, look at that. Hold on, let me pull this up for y'all. Why I like Adobe so much, right? Now I gotta look at their financials a little more, but this is extremely attractive. Adobe's gross profit margin is about 89%. That is extremely high. Over the past few years, Adobe has kept its gross profit mostly in the mid to high 80s with only small fluctuation. It has not dropped sharply or had big swings, indicating good cost control relative to revenue. I like it. I like it. I like the stock. Not a perfect time to buy, but you know what I'm saying? We not gonna rush to buy nothing. I gave y'all the portfolio update. I gave y'all a stock to look at on the watch list. I expect the Adobe to probably continue to be going down. But you don't and you don't have to catch it at the bottom. You could let it, let it bounce first. You don't have to try to hit sniper mode like I did with United Healthcare. I did pretty good on that one. I literally hit it, days before Warren Buffett did, but you're not always gonna do that. You shouldn't always expect to do that. Just let it bounce first. Let it hit the floor, bounce, and then you could jump in. I like the stock a lot. I am tech heavy with Nvidia, so I'm not 100% sure if I'm buying Adobe or not. But until next time, man, I'm gonna see y'all next week. I am gonna get back into doing other videos outside of the portfolio update. Me and my boy started a podcast. So we got a podcast that we'll be doing together called The Legacy Architects. Y'all will see that on my channel on the way. And I'm gonna start doing a little, reviews and other type of videos that I've been doing before because I could tell that some of my viewers aren't really into the stock market education. That's unfortunate for them, but I gotta entertain the people. The portfolio update can't stop, won't stop. So y'all will get this every week. Make sure y'all like and subscribe.